Please welcome Paul Wesley.
Hi, everyone.
Dina Shihabi. And writer-director Sean Mullin. Paul, you are a hunk. Did you hear all this screaming going on?
That's for me.
That's for me.
That's my family members. This is my extended family. Yeah. I'm from Jersey, so.
Sean, I just wanted to talk to you about how this all came together and how you cast these two incredibly handsome people in your movie.
How did I cast handsome people?
Yeah. These handsome people in
handsome people. I got really lucky, to be honest with you. You know, Dina auditioned. She put herself on tape, and it was incredible. I mean, I saw the audition, and just Amira kind of came to life. You know, she just popped out of my my imagination and onto the screen there. And so I got really lucky. And with Paul, we had a mutual connection through a producer, Terry Leonard, which was awesome. And he recommended Paul, and I saw Paul. We were kind of sharing some office space at the time on another film he was working on. And I sent him the script, and I just crossed my fingers.
And how did you guys sort of become involved? Was it the script that sort of won you over, or how did you first?
Yeah. I love the script, but I saw Sean's short. I loved his short films called Sadiq.
Sadiq, yeah.
And then I saw, I probably shouldn't say this, but I saw Dina's audition. Terry, it's really kind of awful that I'm saying this. She knows, that's why it's okay. But I saw her audition. They were like, oh, look who's playing the lead girl. And I saw it, and I was like, oh, man, this girl's so good. And then I was like, I'm in. That was it.
And what about you, Dina? I mean, you obviously
I
auditioned.
invaded your privacy.
No, what's funny is that everyone saw my audition except me. I saw it 1 month ago for the first time, and thank you. That's very nice. I auditioned. I heard about the movie from my manager and my friend Laith Neckley, who plays my uncle in the film, and I loved the script, and auditioned, and then I had a call back with Sean, and the rest is history.
No, but where did the story sort of come from? Because it's sort of an unusual story, and it plays on romantic comedy tropes, but it seems very fresh. I mean, what was sort of the intention?
Well, I mean, I love a good love story. I think most people do, right? And so the idea is how do you make it new? How do you make it fresh? I mean, I had my first screenwriting job. I was hired to write a screenplay for Britney Spears, which was hilarious. Like working with her.
What was the project?
Well, working with her turned out to be much funnier than the script. But she's awesome. I mean, she was great, but it was just a very crazy process. During that process, I watched every romantic comedy that had ever been made because I was nervous as hell. Because what was I going to do? And so I learned what not to do, really. And I leaned on some of my favorites. There's a great film from 1955 called Marty with Ernest Borgnine, which is just this fantastic love story about outsiders. And I just the idea of two people who don't fit in anywhere but like with each other, to me, is very just a romantic concept.
And can you talk about the setting? The movie is set in 2008. And
yes.
I mean, trying to pull off any kind of period thing on what I'm assuming was a very tight budget must have been fun. But why 2008 specifically?
Huge budget, man.
Yeah. It was $100 million.
Transformers.
$100 million,
right?
Okay. No, we, I felt like that's right. Right before the market, it was the peak. Right before the market crashed and everything, and I thought that was just a ripe setting to tell this story. And I had lived in New York for a long time, and I was kind of have a very rich background. I'd gone to undergrad at West Point, like an hour north of the city, and I used to come down here when I was a cadet and get in trouble a lot. And I went to grad school at Columbia here, so I just have a lot of deep ties to the city, and I just felt like this was the place to tell this story,
And this is for everybody. What was it like working? How long did you have to shoot?
We shot the movie in 3 weeks, 16 and a half days.
Wow.
Yeah.
And from the actor's standpoint, did you get to improv at all or come up with new things, or was it pretty much reciting what was on the page and getting the hell sort of out of there?
Yeah, it was a combination of his lines and his script, and then he would give us the freedom to improv and play with it and, just have fun.
I was senile. I was shooting my show during the week and then coming on the weekends and shooting this, and I was like, I would be like shooting an all-nighter on a Friday, get on a plane, shoot this, and like I don't even know.
I know. He'd be like, I'm exhausted. I'm like, use it.
Yeah,
just use it. Your character's tired.
I don't remember anything.
Action.
No, it was great. A lot of improv, which Sean encouraged.
And shooting in New York, I'm sure, must have added its own share of sort of unpredictable elements.
Yeah, I mean, pros and cons, you know. I mean, obviously, I mean, it's a wonderful place to shoot, you know, the energy and the production design and the crew you can get here is unlike anywhere else. So it was all a plus in my mind.
I feel like, Dina, you were selling your DVDs like down the street. Where was that
right.
close? Like,
Yeah, it was, you know, just off the Canal
Okay.
subway stop on the N train. That's where I was standing around, and they crossed the street and like hid while I sold fake DVDs to random people.
How did you come up with the little? I love the little sort of synopses you give each movie. Did you sort of come up with that?
No, I mean, that was mostly in the script, but I think some of it was...
Some of it I made up on the spot because I'd watched all those movies.
Right.
I just thought it was
Did you
hilarious.
have any
There's-
weird reactions from like people that were
Well,
like
yeah,
strangers?
there was actually one guy who I almost convinced to buy a movie.
Yeah. He's like, how much? He's like, yo,
I
how
was
much?
like,
How much?
$5.
Yeah. She's like haggling with this guy. I'm like, this is great.
I hope you take Amira Sam Blu-rays out when it's ready and start.
Should do
That's
that.
how we'll sell
Little
the film.
promo.
I'll just be
Yeah.
up there. in character.
Let's pause for a second and take a look at a clip from the movie. This is sort of when your romance is burgeoning with Martin Starr, who is unfortunately not here, but is a hoot. So let's watch that.
Ooh,
So
ooh.
cute.
What's gonna happen on the bed?
Oh no.
Never guess.
Gotta see the movie to see what happens on the bed.
I think that we should
The
have
whole
you
100%.
just do that throughout the movie.
I should
just
be
talk-
narrated. By the way, like in the
Just
behind the
narrate.
scenes Blu-ray like version, I should just be
Be
the
narrating
narrator.
us like
Yeah.
this, like overly.
Ooh, is
what's
she gonna go in the bed?
happen? What's gonna happen?
Don't go on bed.
Oh, boy.
Now, can I ask everybody what it was like working with Martin? Because he is absolutely fantastic in this movie, very different, and you guys obviously have two very different sort of relationships with him. What was that sort of process like?
He's the best. I was about to say he's the worst and make a joke out of it, but no, he's the best and was just so fun to work with, so generous, always unpredictable. I'm sure you've experienced that. Always joking. He would always mess with Sean. Sean would tell him to do something and he would do the opposite. And so by the end of the shoot, it rubbed off on me. So Sean would tell us to do something and then we would both do the opposite.
And I like
Which
my head
was great
exploded.
for Sean.
Yeah,
He loved
was-
it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, Martin was wonderful. Yeah, I mean, you know, it definitely, like with any actor, you know, you just need to feel each other out for the first couple days and make sure you trust each other. But once that happens, we were off and running.
Yeah, I was constantly. I was a little intimidated, to be honest with you.
Why?
Because you know, you think comedian, like funny guy, he's gonna be like naturally like, you know, warm, but he's very like. I mean, I appreciate it now, but he's very like he just kind of sizes you up, and then he just that still is our relationship. Actually, he's continues. It's just like I'm a little intimidated by him, but what I like about. Working with actors like that come from a comedic background is that you kind of never know what they're going to do next. It's unpredictable, so your reaction is always spontaneous and always new and always fresh because it's never really premeditated, which is, you know, sometimes the case with certain people that are just not that interesting.
Right. Can I ask what it was like working with Draft House and being a part of Forever Fest? You were at Forever Fest this past year. Yeah,
it was incredible. I mean, they're just, you know, top tier, you know, distributors for independent film. They really, you know, once we had their stamp of approval, that was really the moment where I felt like, okay, we're in the right place. And you know, I couldn't have been happy as a filmmaker. I couldn't be any happier.
My AD on Vampire Diaries and my DP, my director of photography, are movie buffs, and they're hardcore movie buffs, and they're actually, one of them's from Austin, and when I told them that Draft House was picking up the film, they were flipping out. They said they're like, Draft House has a batting average that is perfect. Every film they put out is perfect, and I'm like, it's just kind of amazing, to be honest with you.
Let's watch another clip where Dina is super hilarious at at Paul's party, Paul's engagement party, right?
What is this?
Yeah, no.
It's a clip from the movie.
He engaged all you.
See, it's cute. They'll watch it, I think. Can you talk about sort of things that maybe didn't make it into the movie that you wish were still there, or was pretty much everything shot?
Oh, like all of Paul's nude scenes? We talked about that earlier. Yeah.
I was ready to go, man. Full frontal. I was.
No, I mean we didn't have
sorry.
enough. We didn't have enough.
God,
Yeah, we didn't.
Forget my
Explicit,
audience.
explicit.
We really didn't have enough money to waste time shooting stuff we weren't going to use. So I mean, I had 99% of what we shot, 98% probably is in the film.
There's that amazing shot though. When I was in my office, looking down on Ground Zero, that didn't make
Very
it.
cool.
That was a cool shot.
Very cool shot. Yeah,
But
handful of shots. No scene. Well, no, one scene, I guess. There's a scene of Martin,
There's a
early on.
topless scene of Martin that didn't make it into the movie,
there
isn't
is.
there?
Yeah, exactly.
He
So
was
there
very
is
confused for a
nudity.
minute, yeah.
There's cut.
Can you talk about what it was like? Sort of, the movie has a kind of political edge, but it sort of walks that line, very finely. Can you talk about what it was like to sort of weave that in, but never be sort of too heavy-handed?
Yeah, well, I think if you're making a film about like issues, this is veteran assimilation and immigration. Those can be very heavy topics, and nobody wants to go to a movie and really be preached to or just like be bored with stuff like that. So instead, you need to connect emotionally with an audience. And I felt like if we could just create a story where you've got two people that the audience is rooting for, and they're dealing with these complex issues, but in an intimate way, that speaks to audiences universally. That's the best way to reach audiences, and.
Well, on that note, I want to show this third clip, which I'm really excited to talk to everybody about. So let's see that. That scene is amazing, and I just want to ask Paul and Sean what it was like to write it, what it was like to perform it.
It was a lot of information that I had to. I don't know anything about the stock markets, and I'm a college dropout. Don't do it, kids. But I'm just saying. Anyway, yeah, I had to sort of learn about the sort of I don't know. I spoke to some of Sean's Wall Street friends, and I had to really understand what I was saying, so that it wasn't just completely coming out of my mouth. But you had to believe that I really believed in what I was saying. So I had to do a lot of research. But I don't know. We shot it in like a diner, and it was just it just came naturally. I mean, do you remember?
It was a diner. It was still like a working diner.
Was it a working diner?
No, I mean, I think we had it for the half day or something.
Right.
But we had to shoot quickly, I remember. So, yeah, I think it came together well. It is a lot of information. It's one of those scenes where, it was, it's tricky to edit to make sure you have enough, but not too much stuff. But I think it all works out well.
And did you write that sort of before the Occupy stuff went on? And I mean, because the use of 1% is obviously very powerful.
It was
in
after
that
the
scene.
Occupy stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that we have time for a few questions, possibly vampire related. I'm not sure.
My question is for Paul. So you're mainly known for being an actor, but you've been recently dabbling with directing, like on the Vampire Diaries. So I was just wondering if your experience as an actor has kind of helped you with directing in any way?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for giving me the opportunity to plug my episode. It airs on Thursday.
We're out of here.
Directed by your very own, yours truly. No, but that's a really good question. I'll try to make it quick so I don't bore everyone. But yeah, I definitely, as an actor, I appreciate when certain directors, sometimes less is more, is what I learned. And sometimes it's best to just let actors play. Sean was really good at that. And that's something that I learned when directing the show. You would think that I would get in there and be like, do it this way. It's really about making everyone the best that they can be in their own natural presence. That's what I learned.
Sean, how do you feel about your directorial skills being put to use?
By Paul?
By Paul, yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Great, yeah. I mean, take him, man. Take him and run.
Dean, are you going to watch the episode or no?
Of course.
Okay.
You better.
Yeah.
Friendship over if
Yeah,
you don't.
Hi. I have one for Paul. What do you...
Really?
Hi. What's your opinion on the plot of the movie? What do you think of it?
What do I think of the plot? I love it. I love films that take place in New York. This was a very difficult time in America, particularly in New York, post 9/11. It really affected, my family's from here and this neighborhood. They're from Jersey, but don't hold that against them.
Represent.
But thank you. Like Sean was saying, it's two people that are complete opposites coming together in this environment that is really kind of, a really trying time. I find that setting to be really dynamic, so I love it.
It's for Paul. Hi.
Of age.
I'm Jamie. Hi.
How you doing, Jamie?
What is it like working with Nina and Ian on the
Hell
Vampire Diaries?
on earth. No, I'm just
I
kidding.
love you.
Thanks. It's great.
Paul, I love you.
Thank
You
you.
inspire me.
What? Thank you.
Inspire me.
Thank you.
Hi, Dina. How are you? Dina?
I'm good, thank you.
I'm here. So coming from the Middle East, how do you feel you've, I guess, paved the way for people to have available opportunities to go into filming and artistry like that?
Oh my God. I mean, I hope that I begin to do that in some way, but I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question. I think what's cool about this film is that I play a Middle Eastern woman that is someone you wouldn't necessarily see everywhere, and so that was really exciting to me to show a different side, and I hope that maybe that'll start people to tell those kind of stories more often. That's what I hope.
Yeah, I mean, I think the film is about challenging perceptions on all levels, whether it's veterans or immigrants, and that's kind of what we were after, so hopefully it helps.
And that people can relate to a character like Amira. I think that's really exciting.
Hi, my question's for Sean. I know.
Wow.
You over there. Sorry, Paul.
Oh, me? No, sorry. I'll let him answer.
You were talking about how you didn't want to shove things down people's throats and you wanted them to walk out with a feeling. If there's any feeling people could walk out of the movie with, like a new idea, what would it be?
Well, I mean, like I said, challenging perceptions is a nice one. Not judging a book by its cover, and the media has a tendency to drive certain narratives down your throat. Every veteran is a loose cannon, and every immigrant is a troublemaker or this or not not supposed to be here. And I think those are misconceptions that have marginalized both veterans and immigrants. And so all that being said, that all sounds very political and heavy, but when you watch the film, it's a very, hopefully, touching, sweet, engaging love story about, finding somebody. I think the most important thing when you fall in love is finding somebody who really gets you and understands you.
All right. Hi, my question's for Paul, and I was just wondering, how does your character in the movie compare to your character on the Vampire Diaries?
They're both blood-sucking, but in different ways. No, I don't know. Compare. They're really the polar opposites. I mean, Charlie's, married and on Wall Street, and I think Stefan was sitting in a high school desk 2 years ago, which was really embarrassing as a 30-year-old man. I was like, this is ridiculous. Why am I in high school? This doesn't make any sense. Really they're polar opposites, which is why I really, love them both for their own, reasons. So thanks for asking.
Hi guys, hi Paul. Dzień dobry.
Hi.
Dobry
Dzień
wieczór.
dobry. Fellow Polish friend over here.
Yes.
Dobry wieczór.
Guys, I want to ask you regarding the last events with Charlie Hebdo, how you are feeling about it.
Well, the idea is, Amira's not meant to represent any one religion or any one, culture. She's a conflicted, fallible young woman who is on a journey. And, Dina, I don't know if you want to speak to that more. I mean, Dina grew up in the Middle East, and talk to that.
We wanted Amira to be to the picture of her to be seen as this someone's torn between two cultures. So it's a heightened. The way she's dressed is a heightened way of expressing that. And what happened in Paris is horrendous and is absolutely horrible. And every artist should have the power to express themselves. And so that's how we feel about
free
it,
speech is
Yeah.
the fundamental, right of humanity, hopefully, So we're all on the same team there.
Hi, my name is Marita. I have a question for all of you in general. First of all, I think that statement was fantastic. Because we're from New York City. So, everybody comes here for an opportunity. So I think that's amazing. My question is regarding the production process. In terms of editing, I'm just curious as to what system you guys used and if other people played a part in it. Like if you guys may have played a part in the editing process, just out of curiosity.
I mean, Paul cut the movie on his laptop, right? No.
Did you use iMovie?
Apple. No, we did cut on a Mac. Yeah, Final Cut. If that's a plug, it's on sale downstairs. You can get it now. We show. I don't know. I mean, editing is. Yeah, I mean, Our editor, Julian Robinson, a fantastic editor out in Los Angeles. He, really, I don't know, the process was pretty. We didn't have much room for error in the editing, so I'd say a majority of the shots I shot very deliberately. The film is very deliberately set up. There's one take that whole bed thing is a 7-minute take with no cuts, and so we didn't. I was very everything I shot. I tried to use a majority of it, so not much ended up on the cutting room floor. If that helps.
Sean, what were your influences chiefly?
I mean, influences. I would say. I mean, so just story-wise. I mean, a great love stories. Like I said, Marty before. The original version of Rocky. If you look at Rocky and Adrian, they're two outsiders that nobody really gets, and they kind of get forced together. Stuff like that. I mean, there was an Irish film from a few years ago called Once, which is a beautiful love story. I don't know if you guys have seen that, and it's a good one, right? And that's my fan club, Paul. Watch out. So yeah, and there's I don't know. Then like for Paul's storyline, there's a great film called On the Waterfront, which you guys weren't born. But there's a great storyline where Marlon Brando's character is kind of used by his brother, and so the name and his brother, Marlon Brando's brother's name, and that is Charlie. So that's where his name comes from, On the Waterfront. So yeah, I don't know. A lot of in Manhattan, Woody Allen. There's shot by the bridge. I mean, I stole that. I mean, that's just a stolen shot. That's
a blatant homage.
Homage.
Yes,
I'm going to call it that instead of a theft. And then, then my favorite film of all time is a 1959 Russian film called Ballad of a Soldier. And if you guys love a good love story, it's highly recommended. It's a beautiful, beautiful story about this really kind of moral soldier in the Russian war who falls for a girl and is tested.
You just got a lot of 16-year-old girls into post-Soviet Russian cinema. So.
Yeah, but like what's 1959?
Awesome. Yeah. Let us all thank Sean and Dina. And you know this guy, Paul.
Thanks, guys.
Shriek.
Thank you guys for coming.
Hey, thank you. Thank you guys so much.
It's really wonderful. Amira and Sam.